Here is the deeper truth many people avoid. Trauma chemistry is not random. It often reveals unfinished emotional history. The people who trigger us most intensely are sometimes mirrors reflecting unprocessed parts of ourselves. Not punishments, not soulmates, but mirrors. And mirrors can become teachers if we are willing to look honestly. Because the goal of healing is not becoming emotionless, it is becoming conscious. To stop confusing adrenaline with alignment, to stop mistaking emotional volatility for spiritual significance, and to recognize that peace is not emptiness, peace is maturity. There is a reason deeply grounded people often appear less dramatic. Their nervous systems are no longer addicted to chaos. They are not constantly trying to earn love. They are not searching for identity through emotional turbulence. They have learned something rare. That love is not meant to feel like drowning. And perhaps this is one of the quiet tragedies of modern culture. People are taught to chase intensity over integrity, performance over presence, and chemistry over character. But character sustains what chemistry alone cannot. Because eventually, every relationship reaches the place where nervous systems settle and illusions fade. And what remains is not the excitement of pursuit, but the architecture of truth. Can honesty survive there? Can peace survive there? And can two people remain fully themselves while still choosing each other? That is a far deeper form of intimacy. And once you understand that trauma chemistry is rooted in unconscious patterns, a new question naturally emerges. How do you honestly examine your own relationships without illusion or denial? That is why the final part of this conversation matters most. A self-diagnostic reflection designed to help you see whether your connection is built on healing or on unresolved pain. Once you understand that trauma chemistry is rooted in unconscious patterns, a new question naturally emerges. How do you honestly examine your own relationships without illusion or denial? That is why a self-diagnostic reflection designed to help you see whether your connection is built on healing or on unresolved pain is crucial. So before calling something chemistry, pause long enough to ask, do I feel emotionally safe or emotionally addicted? Am I able to be fully honest in this connection? Do I feel more grounded after interacting with this person or more anxious? Am I expressing my authentic self or performing for approval? Does this relationship deepen my clarity or increase my confusion? Have I slowly abandoned parts of myself to maintain connection? Do I feel chosen for who I truly am or rewarded only when I become useful, agreeable, or emotionally convenient? Would this relationship still feel meaningful if the emotional highs and lows disappeared? And perhaps the hardest question of all, am I in love with this person or with the hope that they will heal something inside me? These questions are not meant to create shame, only awareness. Because awareness is where transformation begins. The answers may feel uncomfortable, but discomfort is not always destruction. Sometimes it is the beginning of clarity. And clarity is often the first real act of healing. Not every intense connection is meant to be kept. Some arrive to expose wounds, some arrive to reveal patterns, and some arrive to teach us what happens when loneliness becomes willing to mistake survival for love. But healing changes attraction. As people become more internally grounded, they often stop craving emotional chaos disguised as passion. They become less seduced by inconsistency, less hypnotized by emotional performance, and more drawn toward what is real. Toward people whose presence does not fracture the self. Toward relationships that feel less like a storm and more like solid ground. Because in the end, the deepest form of connection may not be the one that consumes you, it may be the one that allows you to remain whole. And perhaps that is the real test. Not whether someone can make your heart race, but whether they help your soul return to itself. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below. Have you ever mistaken trauma for chemistry? And what finally helped you recognize the difference?